are live. This is Stormybman on the Stormybman YouTube channel, coming to the YouTubers live. And tonight I got a special guest with me, my mentor and a good friend, Coach Eddie Davis, here from Chicago. We are live. Say hello to everyone. Eddie, please.
Hello, everyone in the boxing world. How are you?
All right. And Eddie, my YouTube channel is relatively new. I started it in January, and in January I had like 5 or 6 subscribers. And as of today, as a landmark, I just went over 100 subscribers as of today to the channel. So people are listening in to me. They liking the content. They liking what I'm talking about because I try to speak about the sport of boxing from a coach's standpoint. And, you've always told me I had that type of eye for detail as a coach, which is why I always refer to you as my mentor. And, and, and I just want to, give you the credit and accolades for that.
Thank you, sir.
So, Coach, can you tell us how long does your career in boxing span?
With everything from 1974.
74. All right. And can you tell us like who got you going in the sport, like who your mentors were in the gym?
My father brought me to the gym, 1944 Golden Gloves champ. He introduced me to all the old timers in the gym. As soon as I got in there, as soon as the first day, I knew this was something I had to do the rest of my life.
Yeah. And my dad is kind of interesting. He was in the boxing too, Harold Johnson, and he was coached by the great Didi. Remember Didi?
That was my mentor, man. He the one taught me how to train fighters and set me on the road. Once I was ready. He said, "You got to go now, son. You got to get out of Chicago and explore." And I think about him every day, every day.
What a wonderful person he was, man. My dad brought me to the gym to meet him. I was still very young, but it was a wonderful experience. I think at the time when I came to the gym and met Didi, he had a few guys in there like Leroy Murphy and I think he had Quick Tillis in there at one time.
Yeah. Before Quick Tillis, uh, split from Didi to go with, other individuals. He was there. So Didi had him sitting down punching. The other people thought he was a Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Ran around the ring. That wasn't his style, though.
Yeah. And is it true that Quick Tillis was a southpaw that was converted to orthodox?
I'm not sure about that. I can't tell you that.
Because his left was stronger than his right, and typically, typically back in the day, they used to turn the guys around,
Yeah, that's old school because people don't want to fight. Southpaws was outlawed one time in boxing.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So you say your dad got you going, huh? Was your dad a boxer as well?
Yes, he won the Golden Gloves in 1944, middleweight.
All right, all right. My dad, Harold Johnson, he was featherweight. So I'm sure they might have known each other. It's just funny that you and I didn't meet until later, and I was in my late 20s when I met you. But my dad, Harold Johnson, he worked with Didi, and Didi was so upset with him when he left to go to the military because he wanted him to fight, because he was really good at it. But he had to raise that family, so he went away to the military.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. See, with this boxing, Brian, it's hard because this is one sport where, coaches or trainers don't get big salaries to live off of. You got to survive any way you can. Can I tell you an example?
Yes.
The Garcia family, their father, the father of the Garcia family, the trainers in California, their father drives a beer truck for benefits because he's an older man.
Okay.
And so therefore you have to have, establish yourself one way or the other, but the love of the game will never go. I don't care what you do.
Exactly, exactly. So who would you say also along with your dad and like Didi, like who also were influences in the younger portion of you coming along and honing your talents to be a coach?
Um, I was surrounded by back then, surrounded by people like now these are old school fighters, man. Nate Bolden, Bob Satterfield,
Okay.
Luther Rollins, Freddie Dawson, even Herman Mills. Them guys, they sit around, they school me, man. They talk to me. Johnny Bratton, I had the pleasure of being around him, so I learned a lot about fighting. Matter of fact, Johnny Bratton said I look like Bojack. He used to always call me Bojack.
Yeah.
So therefore, I developed a love through these individuals learning about the sport.
Yeah. So those are some of the names of guys that I got a chance to meet too when I first came along over there at Fuller Park, and I first got introduced to you, and of course some of those guys, they were a little older in life and everything by that time, but boy was it nice to be around those gentlemen who had all that life experience and ring experience.
Yes.
So that was a wonderful thing.
Yes, it was.
So as you look over the span of your career, can you tell us something about like some of your biggest proteges and champions that you've had a chance to work with?
Well, I had a kid here, man, that was a welterweight, #1 junior welterweight, and welterweight, fought for the title twice. I brought him from a Golden Glove champion all the way to a world championship.
Oh, okay.
His name was Lorenzo Smith.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
And that was my start here. But then again, almost at the end of his career, I tried to take him to Don, because I started working for Don. Nate Jones, that was in the '96 Olympics, hooked me up with Don, because Nate won. I worked with Nate before the Olympics.
Okay.
See, man, they say my manager, his manager was the same manager, Frankie Randall. They had the same manager. So when I spoke with him, I told him, man, I got a fighter, with a good record. So he went over there and signed with him, but none did produce because, he had a choice. He had a choice of other things. He chose that. So I don't want to collaborate. But I got him to #1. And so therefore, when I went to Don's camp, I had the experience of meeting, world-class trainers and fighters, man. So that broadened my view on boxing, especially world-class fighters.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Richie Giacchetti, Al Benani, Slim Robinson, Jordy Benton, Lou Dugan. I met all them guys on the road.
Okay. Okay.
And Aaron Snowell. I ain't gonna forget about Aaron Snowell. That's my brother, man.
Yeah, Aaron Snowell. Okay. I've seen some like historical footage of Ali when he was in the later portion of his career, and he had guys in his camp like Tim Witherspoon, and I was surprised. Yeah, and I was surprised that I saw a young Aaron Snowell in there. I was like, man,
Aaron Snowell was with Tim Witherspoon since when he was 18.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, dude, how old was he then? Because when I saw him on that footage, he looked like a funny looking guy, because he was a young dude at that time.
He was Slim Robinson's assistant.
Okay, but I could tell he was really young. I just couldn't tell what age. But you say he was about 18. He was working way back then with Tim Witherspoon,
18,
huh?
19, yeah.
Wow, man, that is something else. And to
might have been younger, in his 20s. I know, because we the same age, so he was in his 20s. Because I remember, probably younger, because he was in his early 20s when Witherspoon won the championship.
Yeah. But that is really amazing. Like I said, I was watching this Ali documentary, and they were showing Ali in the later portion of his careers, and they had Tim Witherspoon in there and a couple of other guys who were working in his camp. And then I saw Aaron Snowell, and I was like, look at that. He looked so different too, you know. But yeah, man, that's really great. So can you tell us a little bit about the Don King camp, how that was, or how it's run, or whatever? Because a lot of people don't understand the big time camp like that, what it's like.
Man, it's very organized. The camp in Norway, Ohio, it's in the country part of Ohio. It's back roads to run. It's very organized. A great fitness condition room, $1 million gym with all kind of equipment, sauna, whirlpool, you know, the best equipment you can find.
Now, is it like the housing? Is it like set up like dorms, or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
3 buildings. See, there's a building in the back, which is a nice building. Well, the trainers, we used to go back. There's a building in the middle where the fighters go. Well, some fighters came from the back, but the building in the front and the middle was mainly for the fighters. The one in the front, both of them got TV rooms. The one in the front got a bathroom, like a school bathroom, where you have to go out in the hallway, go to the hall, and go. It's like, you know, maybe something like a public school bathroom. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
But the other 2 buildings had bathrooms in the room, which made it very convenient.
Okay. Now, what would you say, like, at the height of, like, when you were working around there, how many fighters were operating out of the camp?
Oh, maybe I've been a 10 or 15 fighters at a time. That's not even including sparring partners.
Okay. And how many coaches would you say?
If we average of 3 to 5 trainers.
Okay. Wow, that must have been something. You know, I remember when you left to go work there, and you had told me, and we kind of like weren't in touch during that time because you were away. But I was always wondering how that was, man, and how, you know, what that life was like, just having all those real pro fighters around you, man. I just wanted to, you know, what that experience was like.
It's a dream of a lifetime. Number 1. Number 2, Brian, Chicago never. This is another racist, Brian, but a black trainer would never get a chance in Chicago being here.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You know, you gotta go, man. You gotta go, because if not, you're gonna be stuck here. Because you know this, Brian, they're not promoting to me black fighters in Chicago.
Right. Yeah, because guys they can start off okay with the tournaments and stuff, but they have to go away and get in touch with some of those real pros to get that real life experience, man, and to raise the level of their abilities.
Yeah.
So how would you say that the state of the game is right now as far as the amateur program, not just locally here, but you can speak locally about Chicago, but also about the entire country.
Have you seen the USA boxing team on television in the last couple of years?
Yeah, wasn't too impressed.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. See, they get these politically coaches that's hooked up with people. They know somebody to get in there. They're not earning their spots. And then, because just now, the guy that was he president of USA Boxing, some guy named John Brown or something, they just got rid of him. They just got rid of him because he was regulating that, getting his boys in. And these individuals is not the right coaches for these kids.
Okay.
They need somebody that's going to stay on them. They need somebody that's going to monitor them. And see, it's politically hooked up. Like the Golden Gloves here and all that, man. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it'll end soon. Because I got a couple of kids in the gloves.
Okay. Okay.
And if you look at the structure, you know, it's bad, man. They need to tighten up because these other countries, they well organized.
Okay.
You know, and then the amateurs here don't get paid. The amateurs in Europe get paid, Brian. So all they got to do is train. They ain't got to worry about no job. Here you got to worry about a job. You got to worry about your family. You got to worry about surviving. You know, you got to worry about getting some money in. So it's a lot of pressure on these kids here coming up.
Okay.
You know, in Europe, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. You know, can you tell us like what's happening here with like the gloves tournament and everything, and like what the dates are and stuff, in case any of my listeners out there want to kind of catch some of the young talent?
With Brian, you know, I haven't been real biased with the gloves because I can't this year, but I got a kid fighting Saturday. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think they fighting Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But the gloves here, they got real weak, Brian. A lot of people not registering for one reason or other. I don't want to say, you know, I don't know really, you know, in the way why people don't want to register. This only golden gloves, but politically, they probably just tired of the situation they be in.
Wow. Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't want to say because, you know, hey, man, listen, first of all, I got much love for Sam Corona. I got much love for him. You know, we've been knowing each other for years. Now, I'm not going to point the finger at nobody in this situation because I don't know, but, you know, I know he's doing his best, but Brian, I can't pinpoint the situation as far as why people not registering.
Yeah.
You know, I can't say on other individuals. So, you know, maybe they don't like that. Maybe they don't like to officiate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that could be it.
Okay.
You know, when I had my nephew in the gloves, they treated me real fair. So I can't say about other people. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's gonna get better, man, because you know, the park. I'm gonna tell you something. See, the coaches here, these park district coaches, is really tightening up. They program. Because really, we come to find out it really depends on us to keep this boxing going in the Midwest. So it's gonna get better, especially with these young ones. See, we compete against each other like it's a world tournament.
Yeah, I see. I see.
And the park district is stretching out for the youth, Brian. Just want to let you know.
Yeah. So, have you been in contact with any of the current pros around the game that might be looking to get that good experience or help from someone like yourself? Or
yes, I have, Brian, but it's my time. It's my time. See, I'm not. You know, I work with a kid down at Taylor Park. He just signed with Golden Boy. So
okay,
I'm gonna see what's gonna happen with that.
Yeah, I see.
But these guys, Ryan, they prima donnas. They think somebody gonna hold their hand and babysit them. I don't have time for that. I don't do that.
Right.
That's why when they get in the big fights, they choke, Ryan. And I don't want to say no name.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. You know, it's funny when I'm doing some of the podcasts with the guys and I get on the panels with them. One of the things that they have come to know that I say quite often is a lot of these guys today, they get up there and they get rankings and they get title shots and they get titles and everything all now before they even learn how to fight, man. Which is like one of the things that it really takes away from the quality of the sport, because you don't have guys that are fully skilled and have a full toolbox to work with, and therefore they can't sustain titles or title reigns because they can win some fights, but they don't know how to fight. So if they face certain types of difficulty or adversity or whatever, they don't know how to persevere and overcome.
Well, that's true. But see, Ryan, it's the teachers too.
Yes.
It's the teachers in these gyms. See, a lot of these guys are hustlers. They what you call cheerleaders.
Yes.
You know, they cheerlead. They don't be in a gym teach this fighter how to slip a punch, a block a punch, a counter punch, or think what you're doing. And then they think our spawn. A lot of them think our spawn sessions is a war. No. Brian, most fighters get ruined in the gym when they doing a fight.
Eddie, I swear to God, I was on the show last week and I was saying that. You could actually go back and look at my video because it's on my channel where I was talking about that. I was saying that these guys, they're fighting like take a fighter like this young Tank Davis, right?
Yeah.
That kid talk like he done had 40 fights, man.
But you know what? And then one day I posted something on him. I say he take too many punches. So his uncle say, "Well, I like to see you hit him." And I had to explain to his uncle, "See, Brian, fitness is high in boxing. You know, people around, you know, they looking at the glory. They're not looking at the in-depth work." I say, I'm talking as a trainer, not a fighter.
Yes.
I say he get hit too much.
Yes.
And so therefore, they looking at their money. They're not looking at the fight as a human being. But he ain't gonna last too much long. You better miss Lomachenko. Oh, Gary Russell. I ain't mention their name.
I agree. I agree, Eddie. And you know, it's funny. I'm glad you're saying what you're saying because these people who are out here listening right now, and we do have a few guys that are in my chat, and also a young lady, Sierra F. Salute to you, sweetie, for being out there. Abel Mahari, Hyphy, my brother. These are people who have been following me on my channel and also participating in some of the other channels. But with them hearing what you're saying, it's like they can see who my mentor is because I swear to God, some of the things you're saying right now, I've been repeating, and you and I don't talk very often anymore. But it's like it's like I'm speaking your words when I talk about boxing on the channels. So I love that. And please just enlighten us more because don't think you're talking too little or don't think you're talking too much, but just say what you feel because see, this is the thing. When you're talking about boxing and you're talking about being a coach, a lot of these guys, like you said, they throw a towel over their shoulder and hold some mitts up in the air and have a guy hit the mitts with some kind of rhythmic pattern or something. That's not coaching boxing. You know, like you were saying.
That's Flash Patty.
Yeah.
Flash Patty.
Yeah.
Like that guy on Creed.
Yes.
I want to work for that man. I think.
Yeah, and see when you talk about the technique of fighters, when a fighter who really learns and hones his skills, he can have an extended career. Guys who take punishment, they're short term, and most of that happens in the gym, like you said. And I just said last week on a cast where we were talking, I said, you know, you take a guy like Hurd, right? The junior middleweight guy. And that guy likes to take shots. He takes shots to give shots and he pressures people, but he pressures them with his physical prowess and he's not taking care of himself. Well, guess what? 10 to 20 years down the line, that's going to show. And it's going to show big time. You know,
Brian, let me tell you something. See, they get them type of kids, these so-called cheerleaders. They condition them well, but when they get in those fights, you see them taking accumulation of punches. That means in the gym, Brian, they wasn't working on defense.
Exactly.
See, all offense. And see, now this thing, I'm gonna tell you for example, Brian. That kid we just talked Hurd, right?
Yeah.
I think if he ran up on a puncher, like well, then he ain't lost a fight yet. He got against Laura.
He went against Laura. He beat Laura, but that was a war, and Laura did tag him some shots, and Laura got nice pop in his hands too. He's just a defensive fighter.
Yeah, he do. But you know what? If he fight the Charlo will knock him out.
Yeah.
Because he run into a shot.
Yeah.
You know. So if he run up on Charlo, Canelo, somebody with pop, he's going. He's going. So Brian, see, you look at these guys. I know you can't accumulation of punches they take. You don't hear them in the corner talking about move your head, block, or stay out the way, or clinch. Bro, that's all they know. That's all they know. That's all they know. And you seeing the fighters decline. I can give you a whole list of them. I hate to see him fight sometimes. Look at Timothy Bradley, man. Look how long he lasts.
Yeah, exactly. And that fight he had with Barithnikov, whatever the guy's name, I can never say his name properly. He actually admitted that he had concussion after the fight, and for 6 months he was in a fog. You know, and people laugh at him and they tease him about it, but that's not nothing to laugh at, man. It's like each time a man walks up those stairs into that square ring could be the last time he walk anywhere in life. And a lot of people, you know, they like to put their money down and cheer and everything, but these guys have families and they have a life to return to when they come down those stairs. And it's one of the things that I said when I watched what was it, Brown and Badu Jack, when that fight where Badu got that big cut in the middle of his forehead. Now I'm watching it on TV, coach, and I'm saying to myself, as soon as they, you know, they broke the action for him to go over and let the referee and the doctor look at the cut, I said, man, they need to stop that. I said, because that cut right there, the way that it's bleeding, I said, this fight is over. I said, this guy, he's not going to be able to come back because he was already losing multiple rounds. And the style that he was facing wasn't a style where he was going to get lucky. So it's like, you know, I don't like how Lou Del Valle just let the guy continue to go out there and the cut get worse and worse and worse. And the next thing you know, the guy has got an open dam on his forehead.
He's a cheerleader. And then they had the right cut, man. That cut could have been contained.
Yes.
He should have jumped on it right away. He didn't put no adrenaline on there. I didn't see him put no adrenaline.
Yep.
But you look close at these corners, man. You look close at these corners. You know, they got guys cheerleading, don't know what the freak they doing, man. And they just throw the guys in there. Oh, I want my friend in the corner. Okay, I've seen situations where they had a friend in the corner and know what to do. So, Brian, you know, that's true, man. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. They should have stopped that fight.
Yeah, I agree. I said it right away because it was like, it was not the kind of fight, as I said, where he was going to get lucky. And Badu Jack's style is not the kind of style of a guy who could get lucky, you know, who could, and it was just all wrong for him, you know. I hate to see that kind of stuff. That to me is not good boxing. That when coaches let guys go out like that.
I'm gonna tell you something about these guys, man. All they want to do is sit down and look all big and be all big. You know, some of them make a little change screwing up, but they're not gonna last too long, Brian.
No, they won't last long. And again,
I'm gonna tell you an example, Brian. And me and this brother's cool, man. We just on we don't talk much, but I'm not criticizing, you know. But cause he had 2 champions. He had Alexander and Spinks. At the time he had them, they was working good. But as they got older, they grew out his training style. And so, therefore, they left him. Now, I don't know how much money he get out the first or nothing, but I know he took care of them when they was amateurs. He groomed those kids.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But,
so,
you know, so they left him because he trained every fighter the same way. And I love that brother, man. I love him. You know, he got his gym at Vero Beach. He done made a point of success. You know.
Yeah.
But if you notice, Davis ain't down there with him no more. Alexander left him.
Yeah.
So it's a reason for that.
So who would you say right now that's at the top level of the sport? Like give me, in your opinion, with no, you know, no disrespect to anybody, but your opinion from what you could see on site, like the top 3 coaches in the game today, professionally.
Roger Mayweather. He retired, but he was one of them because he never got recognition. Because, you know, I don't know why he didn't get recognition, but they never gave it to him like trainer of the year or anything. And I'm really pissed at that because that shit is politics too.
Yeah.
Nassim Richardson.
Out
of Philly.
Yeah.
And let me see, a third one. Ooh, I know so many guys, man. I'm tight. I don't want nobody to get offended, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And
I'm tight with a lot of guys. But I'm gonna get a third one to my man from New York, a guy named Colin Morgan.
okay. Who is he working with right now that we would know as a name fighter?
Well, he had Bradway, a guy named Wayne Bradway. Me and him with Larry Donald when he beat Evander Holyfield at the Garden.
Okay.
He suspended Evander.
Okay.
And he got a few fighters over there in Ireland now. I don't know their names because I haven't been in touch with them, but I've been around and working, so I'm just giving you my opinion.
Yes, yes,
being with them.
yes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's interesting because um it now tell me if you think that I'm wrong when I say this. It seems like the coaches that are really, really good, they don't get the credit that they should be getting. And other coaches that are kind of like when you hear those names dropped or whatever, it's more like a popularity contest or something. But
because you know, Brian, see these guys get names. They go for thinking something gonna happen. I'm, you know, I can tell you. I know a fighter. I don't want to say his name. Went to and I don't know what happened between them. Went to Ronnie Shields. And he got mad at Ronnie Shields and went to Spence trainer, and he lost. But you know, he went out there 100. And you know, we got all these guys here. You know, I'm gonna say for instance, I'm just speaking of trainers. I've seen him work with Nate Jones, Jeff Mason. You know, I've seen this kid. You know, he was being all right, but now he just want to run to a name. You know, somebody with a name. So that's all. That's all illusion, man. Because when it come down to it, you know, you see that. I mean, you gotta get. I mean, my man, what's his name? Freddie Rowe. He got help. He got 3 or 4 assistants. He don't do all that work in the gym, but he got a name from being on Eddie Futch all the years.
Yeah, yeah. And I hardly ever have, if ever, hear him shout out credit to Eddie Futch.
No,
it's like other people do it for him. In other words, like if you're talking about somebody on TV or something, they'll say, "Oh yeah," and he was under the tutelage of Eddie Futch, but he never says Eddie Futch's name.
You know what, Brian? They forget about the people that. Well, I don't say he forgot about them, but you know, to me, they should mention them more because one for them, you wouldn't be there. That's why I mentioned the guys I mentioned because one for them, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
What I'm doing.
Right. And I'll tell you something, man. When I talk boxing on these channels, I'm always mentioning you because
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
I learned, you know what, Eddie? I learned so much from you working alongside of you in the gym that it became not only the principles of boxing, but I could take what I learned from you and apply it to my everyday life. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Boxing is a way of life.
Yeah, it's and it has served me well, And sometimes there have been instances in life where I've used the principles applied to something outside of boxing, but it's the same because at the end of the day, it's about your character, and you cultivate your character. As long as you are built up good inside, you'll be conditioned to deal with whatever life has to bring across your table.
That's true.
You
have to be ready for it.
So yeah, I mean, and in much respect, I'm always shouting you out, always.
Man, that's why I'm doing this show with you, man, because I thought about it. I said, man, I got to do this because me and Brian been around. His father was a fighter. My father was a fighter. So we cut from the same cloth.
Yes.
So we got to think about that. So it's in our blood.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I am so appreciative that you've come out, this evening and shared your boxing experience with us because this is the real stuff. You see, sometimes people that they can hear like little sound bites here and there, and they hear a little something quick, but this is honest, sit down discussion that you're sharing with us and talking about from a real coach's perspective. You know, something that people don't always get a window in to see. You know.
And see, I do this for a living. This is all I do, Brian.
I know.
And so therefore, I'm surrounded with this every day. Even the fighters I don't train, I'm in the gym with them. I'm working the young kids' advice. You know, because I'm working cuts now, so I work in a lot of corners. So therefore, I encounter a lot of these young fighters. Even though I'm not the head trainer, I try to speak with them on situations so they can get themselves together and prepare for a fight.
Yeah.
But the first thing I do, Brian, before I talk to them, I talk to the trainer first. I say, man, I want to discuss this with them. You know, and that's out of respect.
Right.
So therefore, it goes a long way when you're in the gym.
It does. It does.
I say, you ain't got to like me, respect me, and I'll respect you. So,
that's right, man. So how is it doing the cuts, man? It's like, you know, that's that's a part that I never really wanted to get into.
Listen, man, listen. It's a lot of research, and you got to know what to look for. You know, I was fortunate to be working under Strickland for years, working in corners, see how he do.
Yeah.
You know, and I took my hand wrap experience from JD, and I learned. Then I went to camp. I learned a different way of wrapping. So I used both techniques, and I know if a fighter swell in the gym, he'll swell in the fight.
Right.
So what I do, I put in swell on before and after he spar, and even before the fight. That'll keep that swelling down.
Okay. Okay.
You know. And if you got a fighter, Brian, that's that cut easy, you know, in the gym or whatever, you know, he's gonna get bruised. You know, take some Vaseline, put a little new skin in there. That'll help contain that skin, toughen it up.
You put a little what in there?
New skin.
New skin?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it helps toughen up.
Okay. Okay. Today, what type of what's allowed in the corner, you know, for cuts and everything? What's allowed and what's not allowed?
Adrenaline, Vaseline, and I don't know, but it's this other ingredient, but I think it's allowed. You know, I can't. It's hard for me to say. I can't even pronounce it. So I ain't gonna get the line. So, but I just use adrenaline and Vaseline, frozen Vaseline.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't believe, you know, going back to 1990, that Aaron Snow didn't have a answell for Tyson in Tokyo when he fought Douglas.
Well, see what happened, man. Tyson's managers hired this cut man out of Detroit. And he didn't have a man. See, that's the main. When you have people work your corner, nobody in the fuck working in your corner. Aaron didn't really know the brother.
Okay. Well, that's the end of that right there.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Because he wouldn't have made a mistake like that. You know, I mean, but then again, the bucket should have been checked.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm not pointing the finger at nobody, but that's the cut man's responsibility. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. So yeah, I see. Let me ask you this, Coach. As far as what's happening in the sport today, are there any matches that you would like to see? Something that, you know, would stoke your fires for the sport? Any particular matches at any particular weight class?
This heavyweight, Big Baby and Joshua. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I like, you know what? I don't know Joshua in person, but I love his personality. And I met Big Baby, you know.
Okay.
And I'm really impressed with his character.
Okay. I don't know a lot about Big Baby, and only what I've seen, you know, and on video or whatever, because, you know, for whatever reason, he hasn't had a lot of coverage or anything. So.
But you know what? Man, my man is a brother out of New York. He tell you, Big Baby don't sell tickets. I don't know why New York don't support him, man.
Yeah.
He's not a bad dude, but I don't know, man. But that's why they bring Joshua to New York, because that place gonna sell out with them with people from Europe.
Yeah.
They gonna beat it, believe me.
There's a lot of people that got the feeling that if Big Baby can get him past 6 or 7 rounds, it could be an interesting fight.
That's true.
Yeah. You know, carrying all that muscle, you know, he needs oxygen, you know.
Well,
and Big Baby is a busy guy.
Here, so I don't think there's going to be any juicing involved. Because you get tested here in America.
Yeah.
Over there, I don't know. I heard you didn't, but I'm not saying he juicing. But most of the guys over there juice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting because Big Baby throws a lot of punches. He might not have the most devastating power, but he throws a lot of punches. Yeah. And he's still a 300-pound man. So it's like a 300-pound man hit you right, he can still hurt you. You know?
Get you out of there quickly.
And people talk about, oh, he feather fisted. I don't know nobody that's 300 pounds that's feather fisted. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like you get hit right, you going, you know?
Yeah.
So listen, I got a question in one of my chats here. Brown on Boxing has a question for you. He says, how do you see the Spence versus Garcia fight going? Since that's the fight of the week.
See, my opinion, man, is that the Garcia family wouldn't take that fight unless they see something.
Okay.
You know, they see that's one of the most intelligent families in boxing right now.
All right.
They see something. But Spence, I'm gonna quote this just from another fighter. It's a middleweight named Rob Bryant. Rob Bryant, you seen him? He fought on ESPN about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so. I think I remember him.
Okay. Now he made a comment. He used to be with Spence trainer. He used to be with them. He would hit him with something. He said, you know what? He said, my style, he couldn't teach my style. He couldn't. All he teaches slugging, banging. And this kid, Brad, is a good boxer, man. He's slick. He took old boy out real nice. He took his time. He softened him up and knocked him out.
Okay, yeah.
He said, with Spence training, he couldn't have done that because he only teach one way. But I'm looking, you know, so I'm looking from a trainer's point of view. I said, well, Garcia can punch and he can box.
Okay.
So I'm looking at that, but Spence is much stronger. Spence got to pick up a mule.
Yeah.
So if he touch Garcia, it's a possibility that he'll knock him out. But if he let Garcia get that maneuver and get the boxing on, it might be a close decision to Garcia. But you know, it's a toss-up to me. I'm not picking either one.
Yeah. Well, listen, this is the thing, because it appears that he really started clamoring for the fight after that Lamont Peterson fight. So it had to have been something in that fight, right? That he was sitting there, I think because he was ringside or something. It had to be something.
He's seeing something, man, because Lamont Peterson came out the gate pretty good.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know what he's saying, because I mean, he came out, but I never was impressed with Lamont Peterson.
Right.
You know, but he's saying something. I mean, he did a couple good rounds, but after that, he got walked down.
Right.
You know, because he lacked defense.
And the funny thing is like, I felt like he could have lasted longer if he wasn't trying to stand and trade with the guy.
That's what I'm talking about. And see, that's what he's seeing. That's what Garcia, that's what Garcia's seeing. See, he sees that. He sees little ins and outs.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. You know, Joe Louis, when he fought Max Schmeling, you know, Max Schmeling said before that fight, I see something, you know?
Yeah.
And he saw Joe jabbing and dropping that left, jabbing and dropping that left. And he capitalized on Joe and he knocked him out. And Joe stopped making that mistake, you know, in the aftermath, but it was something that nobody saw. And I guess one thing a person has to be able to do is be brave enough to stand in the eye of the storm, to do what's necessary. And that's what Smelling did at that time, to persevere, you know, to gain that advantage. So when you talk about it from a boxing standpoint, a boxing coaching standpoint, I can see what you're saying. If the Garcia family has seen something, because we haven't seen Earl as a complete fighter. We've seen him as a search and destroy guy.
That's it. That's all he knows.
But we haven't seen other things. No one has been in there with him yet to make him do something different. But what's interesting is that the consensus is, with Mikey being the smaller guy, that he won't be capable of doing anything with him. But we will be tuning in to see.
All right. Well, hey, Saturday night reveal everything.
Yes, it will. Now I have a question that's kind of like out of left field for you.
What?
Is there a story that you can share with us about a fighter that people don't know or are surprised? You know, in other words, a story like an anecdote or something that, you know, there's something real funny that happened, or some kind of experience. Because in your years of working with all these guys, I'm sure something can come, you know, and it doesn't have to be a whole bunch of things you tell us, but just share something that people would like to know, that a story they may not have heard.
Oh yeah. We was in camp with Oliver McCall.
Okay.
There, Ray Mercer, a couple of more heavyweights without a big name in Ohio was there, right? So they were saying, man, we want to spar with Oliver. We want to spar with Oliver. Now everybody looked at Ray. You know, Ray is cool, man. I love Ray. He's a country boy, but I love the brother because he got a very intelligent sight on boxing. He said, man, you think I'm going to get in there with him? He said, you must be out your mind. He said, Oliver was sitting there with us. He gave Oliver a hug. He said, Oliver, I can't handle. I don't want none of this. He said, let's say paying us $10 million to fight. I get in there with you. I would say, I understand that. And everybody just started laughing. But the relationship them guys had, they understand the business of boxing. You know, and really, fighters like that, you don't have them two sparring. You bring sparring partners in there for them. Mr. King was very intelligent on knowing how to get fighters ready in his camp. I don't care what the media say, what money he took and everything. I'm not saying him bail individuals out, adept, helping them out.
Yeah.
So, I know all the other stories I don't know about, but anyway, everybody was laughing. They said, Oliver, I mean, would you want to spar with him? I would say, you're right, man. That brother could punch. And it was just a laughable thing, but I love the way they handled that. They handled it like two gentlemen.
Yeah. Oliver McCall, the heavyweight gangster. That guy was something else, man. He was really a character.
He really looked out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. We was in camp, man. He made sure we got what we needed.
I'll tell you something, Eddie. I wasn't in touch with you at the time when it happened, but when he won the championship from Lennox Lewis, I was like, holy crap, Chicago got a heavyweight champion.
Oh, yeah. You know how that happened, man. How that happened. They found out he was a good sparring partner, right? Lennox Lewis said, he ain't even got a sparring partner. And then so, because I was just knocked out this Italian guy named Francisco Damiani.
Damiani, yeah, I remember that.
I think with a jab.
Yeah, I remember that.
He shot Bruce Seldon.
Yep.
So,
and gave Mike Tyson all he could handle.
Man, I wish I could find that video, man. With Tyson, said, man, I'm through with this fool. Said, man, he jumped out the ring. Said, man, I'm good. You know, but I can't find it. But man, they had much love for each other.
Yeah. What was that crazy thing Oliver used to do, Coach, where he get to looking off sideways and stuff, you know?
Oh yeah.
Boy, he used to tickle me with that, you know, that kind of talking to you, but he looking over to the side. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. He gets to talking.
When you get fired up in boxing, man. See, I was very psychological.
Uh,
He does a lot of psychological maneuvers when he spar. Even when he fight.
yeah.
He'll look down and hit you with a right hand and knock you out.
Yeah, he was something, man. I remember hearing the stories about him, and I saw him a couple of times when he came around, over there at Fuller Park. But
his eyes was closed when he knocked out Lennox Lewis.
yeah, but you know what? He threw the counter punch though. It was like
right.
It was a counter punch. It wasn't a lucky punch.
No, he closes his eyes. That clip closes his eyes when he punches. So
Oliver has always closed his eyes when he punched like that. But the thing is, he's not disconnected when he closes his eyes. It's a reflective thing. It's a reflexive thing, But what I was gonna say about his punch that knocked out Lennox, it was a well-timed counter punch because he threw it a couple of times before it landed. And Lewis, because back then Lewis used to spread his feet real far apart and wind up that right hand. And Oliver caught him right on the button, man.
He was easy to hit. Then Emmanuel got a Emmanuel short enough to stand. Had him use no jab.
And stand straight up. Yep.
Rest in peace. Emmanuel Stewart. He had a great offensive arsenal.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Defense, I kind of question with his fighters, but offense, he's one of the best in the world.
There you go again, Coach. I tell you, last week on another show, I was talking about Emmanuel Stewart, and I said that he was very, very good at his fighters being offensive, but he did not remind them to be defensively responsible, and therefore a lot of his fighters got knocked out when they didn't have to get knocked out.
Decisions. I mean, his losses was knockout, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. They didn't lose decisions. They lost by knockout.
Yeah.
Because they were wide open. And the thing is, a good fighter can time you and counter you, or can put themselves in a boxing position, to be successful. And that's why it only happens at that real high level. You know what I mean? Because you can knock guys out all day long, but you face another fighter who has fought at a high level, you got to be more than a knockout punch.
That's right. Learned that from Myron Buckley when he fought Hearns.
Yep.
Buckley was the most far skill. He was very limited, but he was conditioned and determined, man. And that's one thing about his condition, his determination. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
And he could punch.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But hey, Brian, it's been an hour, brother.
Yes, sir. And I got one last question for you, Coach.
Okay.
Anything you would like to tell a prospect that's interested in becoming a fighter?
Well, you know what? If you want to become a fighter, research trainers and teachers. Find you somebody that's going to really spend time with you and do research. Study fighters, study other fighters, and stay in the gym as much as you can.
Yes. All right.
And that's it.
All right. Well, salute to you, Coach, and thank you so much for your time, because I know you are a busy man.
Again, if you want to do this once a week, you got me, brother.
Oh, man, that'll be wonderful, because I'll have more people in the chat, I'm sure, once they listen to this show, even if they catch it on a replay, and they'll have the questions, and I'll field them for you, and we can go from there. But this has been wonderful. I appreciate your time, and you taking it out with me like this, man. Much love and respect to you, Coach Eddie.
Okay, Brian. I'll call you tomorrow.
All right, brother. Take care. All right. All right, my people. That was my coach and my mentor, Eddie Davis. Like he said, he's been in boxing since 1974. Okay. And stationed right out of here, the Shy. He is someone that I was able to make a connection to and learn the gym and the nuances of boxing from him, hands on. A person I really truly respect and have a deep friendship with, and is definitely a stand up individual. I hope that you all enjoyed my interview one on one with Coach Eddie Davis. Uh, Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. This is Stormybman. Shout out to the LDBC, Lions Den Boxing Community, and New Media. And this is all that I have for you this evening. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you tune in again. I hope you press that like button. Tell your friends about it. Tell the other channels about it. This is Stormy B Man, and the storm is coming. We out.